What's happening, guys? It's Source from EdTech. Welcome to Wars Setup. We're gonna be featuring some of the best setups that your eyeballs have ever seen. So go ahead and grab the lube and some toilet paper if there's any left, and buckle up because it's time for the Ultimate Edition. Let the setup wars begin. Looking for an easier way to start gaming now? Well, now you can with the Corsair Vengeance 6100 series gaming PC. Powered by an AMD Ryzen 3000 series CPU, AMD Radeon RX 5700 series graphics card, and Corsair Vengeance RGB Pro memory. Every Vengeance gaming PC comes with a 2-year system warranty on parts and labor with Corsair's lifetime 24/7 customer service. For more info, check the link below. Kicking off the episode is Bekrah from my Discord server and his really unique gaming setup. I'm not gonna lie, when I was first browsing through these pictures, I kept thinking this guy lives in a museum or something. Just look at all the wall decor and the furniture choices. It kind of sets this sophisticated vibe and I love it. If I was one of his friends that got invited to his house, I would be afraid to touch anything. So Bekrah doesn't have a traditional desk setup. He has what we call a couch gaming setup, but instead of a couch, he's using a recliner gaming chair from Respawn with the Couchmaster Sycon lapboard, which holds his peripherals. We got the SteelSeries Apex 7 TKL keyboard, Logitech G502 Lightspeed mouse, and the Azeron gaming keypad. Also, can we just appreciate how perfect the RGB mousepad fits with that lapboard? So Bekrah uses this setup mostly for gaming, but it's interesting that he picked the Vizio E60 TV instead of an actual gaming display. So this has a 4K resolution, but it's capped at 60 Hz. Personally, I would have bought a gaming display with a 144 Hz refresh rate to take advantage of the system's specs. I think the Omen X Imperium would have been the perfect solution for his setup. It's a 65-inch 4K display with G-Sync support, and it also comes with a 144 Hz refresh rate. In fact, I did a video on this not too long ago on the channel. Speaking of the PC, we got an i7 8700K with an Aorus RTX 2080 Ti inside the massive Thermaltake Level 20 case. The cables from the TV are routed through the wall and into a channel raceway near the ground, which was also painted the same color as the wall. The other cables are channeled through the opposite side where he has a TV stand and he uses that to display his other gear. Once again, sticking with his museum vibe. He's got quite the collection of gaming mice over here. A few Logitechs, including the MX Master 2S in white and the Roccat LED-R up top. For audio, Bekrah has a couple of Logitech G560 speakers spread out across the room, but he mostly uses the G933 Artemis headset resting on the Cybust headphone stand. I absolutely love what Bekrah did with this gaming room. It's super refreshing to see a different style of setup, and he did such a great job furnishing and designing this entire room. Such an impeccable setup. Thank you, Bekrah, for entering, and thank you for being a part of my Discord. Coming straight from World War II is Cartier and his camouflaged military-themed setup. Choke me hard and call me Sally. My first impressions of the setup were, god damn, what am I even looking at? At first glance, you might think that Cartier is from the military, but fun fact, he's actually an interior designer and electrical technician. I definitely got bamboozled here. So he uses this setup for productivity and gaming, and it features the massive Samsung QLED ultra-wide monitor, which I can't tell if it's mounted against the wall because he's covered the entire desk with fake leaves. For peripherals, he's rocking the Razer Black Widow Chroma keyboard that's GI branded, and the Razer Death Adder mouse with the Goliathus extended mouse pad. While I absolutely love the fact that he decorated the entire desk to stick with the military theme, I personally think there's just a bit too much going on there, which kind of eats up any extra space on the desk. I mean, he barely has any room to move his mouse. It's surely not practical. I gotta give points to the clever way of starting his PC though. He designed this center console to replicate a nuke launching button. Very, very nice. In the notes, he does state that he uses the Logitech speakers, but I can't find them anywhere in the setup for the life of me. They are definitely camouflaged really well, or they are probably buried under those leaves. He does use headphones as well, and what a surprise! They are the Sigtronics AirGear Pilot headset. The PC powering the setup has an i5 7600K and the MSI VENTUS RTX 2070 built inside the Corsair Vengeance C70 case, which was also GA branded. There are quite a few mods in here as well, from Signal Corps. There's an analog gauge inside the case and an antenna with a field phone mounted on the side panel. Personality is definitely something this setup excels in. Without the slightest doubt, Carter has the most dedication put into a setup that I've ever seen on this show. You really have to look closely at all the pictures to really appreciate the little things that he has done and all the effort that he put into this setup to stay consistent with the entire theme. There isn't a single dull angle of this setup. He even went as far as to customize his chair by adding a military rucksack behind it and an ammo crate as his footrest. I can't anymore. This guy is amazing. If I had to pick my favorite part of this setup, it has to be the wall-mounted weapons for sure. The M16 and both the AK-47s. I think one of them is gold-plated if I'm not mistaken. And let's not forget about the massive missile launcher that's casually chilling next to his chair. Absolutely insane. It looks like this setup was built in a basement, judging by the stairs and the width of the walls, and I think it actually ties in well with the whole setup's theme, since it could be considered as a bunker. You know, some people might think this setup is a bit too much, but I love every single inch of it. Carter is not afraid of letting his imagination run wild, and it definitely shows in this setup, and it makes sense why he's an interior designer. The only gripe I have with your setup is how cluttered your desk is. Not leaving enough room for your mouse is a big no-no for me, but that's such a simple fix. All you have to do is remove a couple of the leaves. So with that said, Carter, congratulations on receiving the 24th seal of approval. I have no doubt you can find a worthy place for this in your bunker, so toss me an email at setupwars@gmail.com to claim your one-of-a-kind plaque. At number 3, we have Kevin from Arizona and his dual station setup featuring the Ergo Power Desk, which is quite fascinating. So this desk costs over $10,000, and not only is it a motorized desk, but it has 2 motors built in, allowing the user to control the height independently. So Kevin can control the height of his keyboard separately with the monitor and speakers, which are mounted on the desk. Or he can lift both of them up and use the setup while standing. But that's not all. The desk even has a built-in reading light and climate control. That's right guys, it's got a built-in fan and a heater that he can adjust using the remote on the right side. No wonder this thing costs over $10K. Honestly, the only thing it's missing is a massage chair, and he will never leave this setup. So Kevin is currently using the setup to study for his dental admissions test and casual gaming on the side. He's got the Samsung CRG9 ultra-wide monitor mounted against the top portion of the desk, while the other section holds his Razer Huntsman Elite keyboard, Trinity gaming mouse with the Firefly mousepad, and a 2019 17-inch Razer laptop with an RTX 2080 Max Q. Not bad. Of course, you can't charge $10K for a desk without having lots of support for cable management, can you? And I gotta say, this desk has lots of it. Tons of raceways to route the cables through, as well as a few cable belts to run the wires through so that no wires get pulled on as the desk rises. And finally, we got the PC quietly tucked away in the back. It's actually Kevin's first water-cooled system, packing the Ryzen 9 3900X with the MSI RTX 2080 Ti Seahawk Edition from EK. And this is all built inside the Lian Li Dynamic Razer Edition case. Definitely the first time seeing a setup like this on the show. Thank you, Kevin, for entering, and good luck with your admissions test. I hope you guys have some lube left over because you're gonna need it for this setup. At number 4, we have Lewis and his very own private Apple store. So this was actually once his garage that he completely remodeled into a gaming den. I like to call it an Apple store because there is just so much white everywhere. I love that instead of installing wall shelves, he built them inside the walls to give it a nice modern look across the entire room. He's got some of his camera gear, including lenses, and one of them, we got a microphone and also a few car models since he's into car photography. He also built a tiny island to keep some of his other gear inside, since there is really no other type of storage anywhere else in the room. Also, I can't really tell from this angle, but I think he built himself a fireplace on that wall, if I'm not mistaken. That's pretty interesting. And of course, let's take a look at this awesome setup he built right smack in the center, and oh my God. Why? I got so hyped with this entire room, only to find out my man Lewis is rocking $20 membrane keyboards and budget mice. Like, what happened? Did you deplete your entire budget on the remodel and all you had was like 50 bucks in your pocket? I'm confused. Also, why do you have 2 keyboards when there's only 1 PC? So many questions, not enough answers. Actually, you know what? Judging by the icons on the monitors, it appears that there's actually 2 PCs for this setup. I'm guessing the second one is behind the wall somewhere. Okay, let's backtrack a little bit. This custom setup is awesome, by the way. I love the custom-made floating desk with built-in LED strips, the custom headboard with lighting behind it, and of course the PC up top that looks like it's coming out of the wall. It's beautifully done, amazing craftsmanship. Mounting the speakers underneath the desk is an interesting choice, but I guess it doesn't really matter at this point. The PC powering one side of the setup is actually a pre-built from iBuyPower. It's got the i7 9700K with 16 gigs of RAM and the RTX 2060. It's actually a pretty good system, and now the keyboards and mice actually make sense because they are both from iBuyPower. I think what you've designed and built here is fantabulous, by the way. I absolutely love the modern and minimalistic theme that you were going for, but I can't help but feel like some parts of the setup here overshadowed others, like the gear choices and the speaker placements. Not to mention the entire other side of the room is empty. I feel like it could use a pool table or something. It just seems very empty to me. And maybe that's what you're going for, and that's completely okay. This is your room after all. I'm just saying, if I spent all this time and money into designing my entire garage, I would have picked up some gear that complements the entire setup. For example, the EagleTech keyboard from Amazon is super cheap and would fit perfectly with your setup's theme. Same thing goes for the mice. Lots of awesome options out there to choose from, and I'll drop a link to all of these below if you want to check it out. Nonetheless, what you built here is nothing short of incredible. Thank you so much for sharing your creativity with us, Louis, and thank you for entering the show. Wrapping up the episode is Neil from France and his stunning minimalistic quad display setup that he uses for gaming and editing. He's rocking two 27-inch curved monitors from Samsung on the outer edge with an ultra-wide in the center and a 32-inch Toshiba TV up top. I don't know why, but I'm really digging his desk layout. He mounted it against the wall with only one leg as support. For peripherals, he's got the SteelSeries Apex M750 keyboard with the Rival 600 mouse. It looks like the only audio source he's got are the pair of cans laying on the desk, and I'm sure you guys see this coming a mile away. The obvious recommendation at this point would be to grab a hanger for those and possibly a wall mount for the controller, but you can actually put this behind your monitor, that way it's away from sight. Cables have been beautifully managed with the help of a bunch of cable clips and raceways, and I like what you did behind the monitors as well. A dedicated power strip to hook up all your monitors, that way you can minimize the cable routing through the wall. Excellent job. And finally, the PC pushing all those pixels is a custom build that needs a bit of dusting. It's rocking the 7700K with the ASUS STRIX GTX 1080 Ti. A super clean and minimalistic setup that just needs some minor additions. Thank you, Neil, for entering. And that wraps up the Ultimate Edition. As always, you guys can vote in the comment section or vote on the top right poll and let me know which of these setups was your favorite. As always, if you guys enjoyed the Ultimate Edition, make sure to smack the crap out of that like button and make sure to follow me on Instagram if you want to see some awesome setups not featured on the show. There's some pretty sweet setups going on there. But anyways, I love you beautiful faces. As always, I will see you very soon in the next video.